or even while it's being tower pushed in the mid games, or while they're building towers up the defense. Because in the high level games, the pros have constant tabs on their opponent. They always know where they're going. I'm not even really watching the game. I don't even know what's going on right now. We're going to see towards the middle of this game, or kind of towards the end of it, middle end of the game, where there's going to be a lot of towers that go up. And really, I mean, they don't stay scout towers very long. That's my whole argument with this is I don't really understand it. Feel free to correct me on it. I could be wrong. I've asked a few different people about it. And the general consensus was the people that have played the patch is that it has had a big influence on their matches, having that scout tower repair rate, changed. Has it really affected? Who knows? Another cool little insight to this matchup is, and we'll see that as soon as the is that not fit to tier 2 yet? Yeah, he's at tier 2. So he's making Ancient Lore. We're going to start seeing Dryads and Bears. Common thing for Night Elves to do on this matchup. Sorry. The Dryads have had their their experience that you get from killing a Dryad is increased. It was 40, it is now 60. So that's 50% increase, which is pretty substantial. However, I think this can be easily countered by Night Elf players in the new patch when it goes live, and now that it's on beta, just by making one less Dryad. You kind of counter that. Of course, you're not going to have the that extra unit doing the damage or whatever, but the whole nerf was meant nerf to the Night Elf was meant to kind of hurt them. So if you're going to be massing Dryads, especially let's say Night Elves like to mass Dryads a lot versus Undead, that's going to be really detrimental to you because you're going to be giving a lot of those kills to that Undead hero and make them level a lot easier. So yeah, they're going to have to evolve basically, and that's something I wish that all the races got. Out of all the changes that happened, I don't think really there's a lot of evolving that's going to be done here. Human got an increase to their knights, which is nice. They're going to have more damage. Maybe we'll see knights more. Who knows? I haven't talked to anybody on the beta realm on Westfall to see if knights are being used a lot more often. I don't think they will be. Anything besides mirror matches is all I really ever saw knights being used. Maybe in versus Undead as well. So I don't know if that's going to really have a big influence on it. It's not really going to change the way they play. Their scout tower change isn't really going to affect the way that a human towers fast expands or mass sends towers up by their expansion or at their main or something, making it impossible to push. So I don't think that change really did anything to take the core issues of towers away. Now the thing that bugs me is a lot of suggestions were given to the Blizzard people and to Karun on the Battle.net forums by average Joe players, by everyone who's on the Battle.net forums. Albeit there were a lot of forum posts on there that were completely retarded, and people that don't know what they're saying are posting, and those opinions shouldn't be. Obviously they should maybe be looked at, but they're not. Obviously, has merit to it. But there's a lot of good ideas that have merit to it. I heard of letting towers give more experience or any experience. I don't know if they give any experience now, or making it so that. What was some of the other fixes that they had to towers? Anyway, there was a lot of good ones, good suggestions to fix towers, and for them to take this route. Let me put this out there. I'm the biggest Blizzard supporter and fan about all their decisions that make. I'm like a lone soldier in this. Everyone that I've heard of on the forums, every time I suggest something that says, hey, this change was needed, or this was a good thing, we need to stop, we need to thank Karun for all he's doing, I get laughed at. People are all like, what are you talking about, thank Karun, he's a jerk, blah, 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 he makes promises and doesn't follow through with them. Do you guys even know? Do you have any... It just seems like there's a lot of ignorance on the forums, and I'm probably talking to all those people right now that are making those threads, right? They probably listen to my audio commentaries, or they listen to all the audio commentaries. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of ignorance, and you don't really know what goes into making this patch. I'm sure that in making such little changes, this basically says that the Blizzard developers thought that the game was balanced for the majority the way they want it to be. This is the way that the game is. There might be some perceived imbalances by some players, and maybe by even some of the majority of the players. But Blizzard thinks that this is where the majority of the players should be playing the game at, and this is their level at. They've been looking at it since July of last year, or maybe it's probably a lot earlier than that too. We did have a patch last year to fix some things, but again, that patch was even for the pro players too. I won't go off on a rant on that, but there's nothing to go off on a rant. It was a good decision. Blizzard's basically taken Warcraft 3 and trying to evolve it more for the professional players, because those are the players, this still gets active play. This game is, 3 or 4 years old now, and it's still getting played in professional tournaments. There's still sponsors going for it and all this other stuff. So they don't want to make such detrimental changes and such huge changes to make the game so much different, you know? I don't know. I think they're good. I like the changes. I'm excited to see what's going to happen and if strategies are really going to evolve. But my guess is that they're not going to really change so much. So initially when I started watching replays for this audio commentary, I was looking at I wanted to try to count all the Dryads that were getting killed and then kind of add that experience to the human heroes to see if they would have gotten any significant levels. And in this matchup, and in some of the other ones really, and the other ones too, I didn't really see a big difference. You know, they obviously they would have gotten more experience, but they didn't really get extra levels out of it. They all kind of basically stay in the same level they would have gotten regardless. You know, they would have gotten an extra 30 experience, but they still would have been like level 4 or level 5 at the time. This is the part where he's building more towers here. A little bit of shoutcasting, but you'll see once the ivory towers go up, they pretty much they're instantly they're labeled scout towers when they're dropped down, but they build so quick that scout tower is completely trumped that nerf. Now this one right here, scout towers were up, okay, they were being repaired, they were being constructed. The Night Elf could have tried to kill them at that point, but maybe knowing that the repair rate was so high and that it would easily be enough for the human to try to, or for Nikolarf to easily repair those towers, that the Night Elf completely ignored that. He's like, I'm not going to waste my time killing those towers with the repair rate. So let's say if their repair rate was changed, would Lilith actually go and try to kill those towers and take them down, saying, okay, now I've got a chance to be able to take them down with my bears and my Dryad army. That's possible. But again, right when they get upgraded, they're in the same boat. So even after the patch, he's going to make the same decision he made right now, because they were already being upgraded by the time he made that decision. And it just takes all of a second for Nikolarf to press the G key or whatever, or it's the T key, I don't remember what the regular hotkey is for towers, to make those guard towers, you know? So, I don't know. I don't think that patch would have really influenced his decision-making at that point. He knows that they're still going to be able to get repaired, albeit not as effectively, and that's only when they're scout towers. That's my big argument, is it doesn't fall over to guard towers. It doesn't fall over to arcane or cannon or whatever. That it only happens for the scout towers. When is a scout tower? Just a very small amount of time. I mean, the player would have to be on top of it. Like, the opposing player would have to be right on top of them to make that nerf worthwhile for the human to have to change anything they're doing. And I haven't seen a replay yet where I think that would have had a big influence on it. Anyway, so this is pretty much the end of the game. That fight that they had at the towers pretty much cost Lilith seed in the game. You guys can speed through it if you want. I'm going to go ahead and load up my second replay to get it going. It's going to be Nikolarf again on Lost Temple. It's going to be against a different Night Elf player who goes a different strategy. And the only reason I'm going to be showing this replay is basically to show how how Night Elf can counter the human fast expansion and all that in a different way. He doesn't have to go the cookie cutter demon hunter and hunts, a few hunts and fast tech the Dryads and bears. There's a good way for him to do it. So get the second replay loaded up at the 2-minute mark at 1x speed. And if you're not there, go ahead, pause the audio commentary and get your replay file synced up. I'm still getting there, so we'll give it a second, but I'm going to be starting soon. Okay, so the Night Elf player is going to be KOW 3 Point. I've not heard of him from something else, so excuse that. Come on, 2 minutes. 158, 159, 2 minutes. All right, I'm there. We're going to unpause here real quick because I got another replay I want to get to, so I don't want to take up too much time. 5 seconds, and we're going to unpause.